Hi, everyone, and happy Valentine's Day. This is Tisha Morris, tishamorris.com, and I am bringing you your love guide, your Feng Shui love guide on this day of love. So, this is some Feng Shui tips, whether you are wanting to attract a relationship, or just maintain the one that you have now, or to make it even better than it is now. Okay, so my goal today is to give you some feng shui tips. All right, and you know, sometimes it's easy to kind of downplay the benefits of feng shui, and yet it's really powerful work. Okay, and I have a whole chapter in my book, Clutter Intervention, on past relationships. And the reason why is because clearing out past relationships is one of the quickest, biggest ways to attract the one in. When I say the one, I mean the one. Like, if you are really serious about ready for that committed relationship for the one, then you really need to clear out the old ones. Okay. So I'll talk a little bit about clutter in a bit, but I also wanted to touch on some other really important parts of feng shui as it relates to love. Okay. And I posted a blog post. I don't know if any of you saw it. Posted it this morning on my Facebook page of some of the biggies. And when I say this, I see these with clients all the time. So I'm not just like spewing out like old feng shui wives tales. These are things that I see over and over and over with clients that are struggling with, or you're wanting to find a relationship and they're not. And these red flags that I continue to see quite a bit. Okay. And they are ones that, most feng shui consultants are going to agree with me on. These are things that anyone who practices feng shui sees these with their clients as well. Okay. And so the first one I have there is all work and no play. So are you using your bedroom as an office as well? If so, you're really putting work, prioritizing it over your relationship. Or that's actually I'm not even saying that the way it should be said. In your intimate life, you are distracting it with work. Okay, so if you have a desk or do a lot of work, whether it's in bed or a desk in your bedroom, then that definitely tells me, when I see that, that means someone is using work as a distraction from the relationship, particularly as it relates to the intimate aspects of a relationship. Okay, so if you are doing that, or you're with someone doing that, then that's a red flag. Okay, all right. So try to carve out, if square footage is an issue, try to carve out somewhere else in the home to work, and try to make the bedroom is the sanctuary. It's the sacred space. It's the one space that's just for rejuvenation, for intimacy, dreaming, sleeping, not working. Okay. And so I should preface this by saying that when I work with clients, the master bedroom is the place that tells me everything about a relationship or the lack thereof. Okay. Now in feng shui, some of you might be familiar with the Bagua map, and there's a love corner in the Bagua map. That's a really important section as well. But really, the bedroom, we can really just start and stop there. Okay. So another biggie that is always a big red flag to me is the nightstands. Are you a one night stand? Is he a one night stand? Is she a one night stand? Are you a one night stand? This really is a red flag of how committed you are, or how committed is the person that you're with or dating. Okay, you want to have a nightstand on each side of the bed. Okay, and if you're single and wanting to attract a relationship, still the same thing. So everything I'm telling you applies to whether you are in a relationship or wanting to attract a relationship. Okay, whether you've been married for 50 years or been single, it's all the same principles. Okay, so the nightstands I can always, if there is if they're improportional or lacking altogether, it really is indicative of the relationship. All right, so 2 nightstands, one on each side. Be able to equally access each side. You know, don't if one of the persons is shoved against the wall and you have to climb over the other person to get into bed. Well, that's what your relationship is. You're having to go through the other person. You're squeezed against the wall, and you don't have any power. All right. This stuff is very, very literal. Okay, no exercise equipment. That goes with the work. Nothing work or exercise related. Okay. All right. Now, a lot of people, there's a lot of making space for someone in your life, and really, this, our home is a mirror of ourselves, and so whatever is going on in our life is going on in our house. Whatever's going on in our house is going on in our life. So, if you don't have space in your bedroom for another person, then you also probably don't have space on your calendar for another person. All right, space and time are synonymous. So, really get clear on, do I have time for a relationship? And if you don't, it might be time to, or at least be very willing to let go of some obligations. Okay, it's not like you have to clear your calendar Monday through Friday and hope for a date. That's not what I'm saying, because you want to go about your life. And the same in your bedroom. It's not like you need to have a whole dresser empty. You need to go about your life, use your space, use your time. But just make sure you are not overstuffing it, feeling overwhelmed. If you feel overwhelmed, then you're definitely putting out energy of, I don't want a relationship. Okay? So make yourself available, make your space available. If your drawers are stuffed, if your calendar is stuffed, then you do not have space for a relationship. Okay? So do some clearing. All right, another biggie in Feng Shui is using even numbers in your bedroom. And more importantly, it's not, you can have 2 candles, 2 pairs of things. That's kind of what they say in Feng Shui. But what I see more than anything is the number 1 being very prevalent in bedrooms of single people. Okay? It's like over time, I see this long enough to where you just can't make it up. I see a lot of single women with pictures of single animals or like single women, like a piece of artwork of a single woman. These artwork is very plays much on our subconscious mind, okay? And it's like subliminal messages coming at you all day. It's also indicative of whatever made you choose that. There's an autonomous energy that you're identifying with. So look around your bedroom and notice if there's any major symbols of the number 1. Okay, and I had one client who was like a large like candle sconce right across from her bed that looked like a giant number 1. All right. Again, these are subliminal messages. Check your artwork and change them out if that's the case. Okay. You also don't want the number 3. Okay, in a bedroom. That can invite a third party. Speaking of third parties, you never want a mirror across from the bed. Okay, a mirror across from the bed has the potential of bringing in third party. That third party could be work, it could be family, it could be paranormal activity, it could be that third part of the relationship could come in a very creative ways. That mirror acts as a portal during the night for things to come in. So This is a very traditional Feng Shui thing that I have seen play out quite a bit. So no mirrors across from your bed. All right. All right, what else? If anyone has any questions, if you're live and have any questions about anything in your house or anything that you've heard about Feng Shui, about relationships, and if it's true or whatever, feel free to ask those in the comments. Okay. All right. I'm gonna the final. I don't have this on here, but in the blog article that I posted, but important to not have family pictures in the bedroom, okay? Sometimes this one kind of ruffles people's feathers a little bit. Basically, imagine any photos of people in your bedroom, those people being present during your relationship. All right, so we want to keep the relationship just for the sacredness of the relationship. If you're single, then just self-love. You can, if you're single, you might have some pictures of friends. You could probably get away with that. I would keep parents out of the room. I would keep children out of the room as well, as far as photos. So if you're married and have kids, I see this a lot of couples with kids, and their master bedroom is just covered in pictures of their kids, and that is a red flag of the kids kind of getting in the middle, not literally, but of the relationship being a distraction as far as intimacy goes. All right. So try to keep the bedroom the sacred space for the relationship. All right, that's the only room in the house you have to do that for, but make it really special. If you're single and attracting a relationship, then I suggest really making it, really indulge in the sheets, the linens, the duvet, making it very romantic, making it very comfortable for you as well, but making it very special. Making it a room in which you would be proud and not embarrassed to have someone come in to it. Okay, if you're kind of the person who doesn't want anyone in your bedroom, then you are pushing out relationships or preventing them from coming in. Okay. Okay. So let me touch on the decluttering part. So I know it's tricky because, in relationships, so many items are exchanged during the relationship, or photos are taken. Now we have photos on Instagram and Facebook, and, in the digital world on our phone, and we can take so many pictures, and those have energy. And, I really advise, if you're trying to attract in a relationship, really purging the past. And that doesn't mean you have to get rid of, it sometimes can mean you need to get rid of every trace of that person. If it was a relationship that you've had a hard time letting go of, using the items as a conduit for letting go can be really, really helpful. And if you're struggling with an item, then you're most likely struggling with, and if you're struggling with an item that relates to that relationship, then you're most likely struggling with some aspect of letting go of that relationship as well. Okay, and it doesn't always have to be what you're hanging on to. You may have gotten beyond that person, so it may not even be about that person, but more about an identity that you had while in that relationship. Okay, maybe while in the relationship, you were in a social circle that you really enjoyed, and maybe you went to a lot of industry parties or whatever, and you enjoyed that lifestyle. And since breaking up, you don't have that anymore, and you're hanging on to that. So sometimes you have to really dig deeper. It might be another layer of what you're holding on to, okay, with an old relationship. When we hold on to items, it always has to do with an identity around something. Okay, our stuff is a symbolic evidence of some aspect of our identity. And so when you're going through the decluttering process, does that identity still relate to who you are now or who you want to be? All right. That is the determinant of whether to keep or to let go an item. So with relationships, it can be really tricky, and there's a lot of sweetness that's exchanged, jewelry, cards, and sometimes we want to hang on to those to remind us that we were loved at one point by someone else, you know. And when we're single, we want to hold on to that feeling of that evidence that I was loved. You know, again, it might not even be about that person, but the fact that someone loved me, someone cared enough to give me a card, to give me jewelry. So this is where a big dose of self-love comes in, and realizing you don't have to have that from the external, and to clear room for new love to come in. Okay. If any of you watching have any questions, feel free to type them in the comments. All right. If anyone has had personal experience of doing any of these suggestions and things turning around from them in the positive direction, then I'd love to hear that as well. All right, so just a little recap of what we covered. No office work in the bedroom, no exercise equipment in the bedroom, no pictures of parents or kids in the bedroom, 2 nightstands. Create space in your calendar and in your room, master bedroom, for someone special. No 1s, no 3s in the bedroom. And then declutter things from past relationships. Okay? Hey, Liv. Good to see you. Hello. Okay, so I hope everyone has a great day. You know, it's funny that Valentine's Day is during Aquarius season, which Aquarian is like has nothing to do with romantic love at all. It's more of like the oneness of all of us, and more about friendship. And so, you know, I think that's going to be my new take on Valentine's Day, is just sharing the love with everyone, and with your fellow men and women in your life, whether you're strangers or people you know, and just spreading love and spreading positivity, and kind of taking the ooey gooey romantic part out of it, and making it more of an Aquarian love than than Leo love. Speaking of Leo and Aquarius, we have the big eclipse tomorrow. So today is the quiet before the big storm. The moon is in its dark phase, so things are pretty quiet today. Kind of an odd energy, a little bit of ominous odd energy for Valentine's Day. So the energy is a bit mellow, a bit quiet, as it should be. And then tomorrow, big new moon. That might be a oxymoron, big new moon, with the eclipse. So yeah, all right. I'm gonna sign off, and thanks for watching, and big hearts out to all of you. See if I can make hearts. Oh yeah, I can. All right. All right, y'all take care, and I will see you soon.